Hey, what's going on, guys? By this completely nondescript box, you can tell that this is another early release version, kind of an early sample of this kit that I'm getting in order to share with you guys. But this is the Luna Trace kit from the same people that brought us the Solaridian. Did not too long ago take a look at the opalescent version of the Solaridian, which was really cool. I'm really looking forward to this kit, and I wish I had the proper box art to be able to show you guys, because I'm actually curious as to how that's going to look. I think it's probably going to look really cool, but we will at least be able to build the kit early, and I'll share that with you and share my thoughts with you. But I think it's going to be a really nice one. Let's go ahead and get into it here for today's video. And so yeah, instead of taking a look around the outside of the box as we normally would, let's just go ahead and pop this open here. On the inside, here's our water slide decals, and we've got another metal plate here. It looks like this is really cool, something that we saw with the Solaridian as well. We have this little strip of double-sided tape and this cool metal engraved piece here to go on the front of the stand, so that's really nice. And our decal sheet here is pretty good size, and the decals are pretty large as well. You can definitely tell this is meant for like 1/100 scale. We have a bunch of decals here in black and red, it looks like, kind of like a dark gray color. For some of those markings there, you can see are in like dark gray, and then others are in like actual just black. So you have like some of these lining accent details and then just kind of general caution markings there. So that all looks really cool. And we'll check out all of the runners here in a bit. And it looks like this is going to be using the same base that we saw with the Solaridian, where it's got this little hatch for this piece here at the bottom that opens up. You can like store your extra bits. Might be especially good for like your extra hand parts. So you can see we have those here bagged up, and I'm guessing that's these are going to be in like kind of softer plastic. So just to make these a bit more flexible, yeah, they're in that slightly softer plastic there for those. We do also have this bag here with a couple of pre-assembled joints here for us, with basically just plastic parts with metal pins in there. And then just like I don't have the full box, I also don't have the instruction manual at all. I only have that as a PDF, so we can just get right on into the runners then here. So this is actually technically runner Y. This is just going to be for the base. So the main arm for the base, and then like I said, like the hatch part there for the center and the parts there for that here in black. And the first few runners are going to be all of our off-white armor pieces here. So here's runner A. You can see some really nice detail here on some of those parts. I do really like the look of this. Some nice detail on there, but not overly detailed. It looks like a really nice balance for this one. And by the way, we've got two of that A runner. The B runner is also another quite large one here with some parts for the weapons there, it looks like. Next up, we've got runners C1 and C2, and two of each of those there in these type of runners that you can like snap apart there in the middle. And then for the last of our off-white parts here, runner D1 and then D2 for those. Runner E1 then is getting into some parts for the inner frame, which is just going to be kind of a standard gray color here, but again, you can see a lot of really nice detail on those parts. Runner F is also molded in that same gray color, but as we can see here on the front, it's plated on this side with this really nice kind of silver, dark silver gunmetal sort of color for the plating on that. And it's a little bit here onto the back, just basically for those couple of parts there that needed a little bit of coating on the back as well. But anyway, that is a really nice looking color there, I have to say. Up next then, runners G and H, again for some more parts here in a nice medium gray. And again, a lot of really nice detail on those. For the last of our inner frame parts runners, we've got runner I. We've got two of those. And then runners J, K, L, and M are all here in black. So black looks cool, but the only thing with this color though is that like you can't see the details quite as well on black parts. So I wish that they would just kind of stick with like a very dark gray rather than going like quite this dark pure black here for these. But that's through runner M there. Runner N is in a really nice light lavender color there for our color accent. And runner O as well is in a really nice looking clear blue there for like a beam effect part, and then some other just clear blue parts for around on the kit. Whereas P, Q, and R are in a little bit different kind of brownish gray kind of color here for some of the joint type parts. And you can see the Q runner is interesting. It looks like it's missing a lot of parts, but I'm guessing those were the parts that were cut off to make those pre-molded joints that we had. So those were initially molded on the Q runner, but then cut off and like prepared separately there as the joints that have the metal pins in them. And then runner R here as well. Last but very much not least, runner S here is in a really nice looking plated gold, and that is going to add some nice little bits of gold detail to the kit as well. But that's it for the runners. Let me go ahead and get it all built up and we'll check it out. Alright guys, then here is how the kit is going to look once it's all built up. It's big, it looks awesome, and I gotta say, I think I'm in love. But really, this kit does look really, really good when it's all put together here. It is quite large. I'll show you a size comparison here in a minute, but if you did miss the live build, you can go back and check that out as well. I built this live over on the USA Gundam TV channel, so check that out. But I think this kit came out looking really, really nice. Gotta love all that detail on there. Looks really good. And we do have some really awesome weapons and accessories included here as well. So why don't we go ahead and get into it and take a look at those up next. And as you can see there, the kit can stand on its own, but I will say the hip joints don't feel like the strongest. They're somewhat loose here, so it is good that we do have our included stand here, of course. So this peg here is going to attach right up into the back side, bottom of the waist there. But then we unfortunately are not able to adjust the angle of this connection arm forward or back. Just basically it will extend up and down, and then we can flip up this lever to lock that into place at any desired height. And then up here at the top, it's the type where you press this button in order to adjust the angle here for the connection part at the top, and then we can press that button back the opposite way to lock that into place there. And then down here for the base, this middle part will open up and you have some storage space in the bottom, which will actually work really well, like for storing your hand options or something, any other smaller bits that will fit in there, you can store inside the base. And as for our hand options, these are just going to be fixed pose hands that we're going to swap out, so you have a set of closed fists there. We got two different types of weapon holding hands here, one for the beam sabers and one for the beam rifle. Those are going to be for the left and the right side. And then we've got two different types of expressive hands, again for the left and the right side, both open expressive hands. I like they're like kind of wide outstretched. And then we also have these peace sign hands as well. Our main weapon is going to be this rifle here. This will attach into the hand, and then this part will also attach into the back of the arm as well for added stabilization, connection to the arm, so you're not relying on the wrist to hold up the rifle, because it is quite long, but it is just going to be attached to the entirety of the forearm there. Basically, you can see those clear blue parts look really nice for the camera lens in there as well. And then we can extend out the barrel as well, and when you extend out the barrel, it also pops up the camera a bit. So just to show that to you here, you can pull that out like that, and that will pop up a little bit there at the top. You have this little bit of extension here in the middle. That would look really cool if it was painted in like a nice like silver or some metallic color that would catch the light really nicely in there or something. But pressing this back in will also collapse the camera back down there on the top. So that is really cool. And when not in use, you can actually store this on the kit. We have this connection piece here, which will just fit onto that like so. If we go around here onto the backpack, we can remove this little cap piece here. There, just like that, exposing this hard point there, and then the rifle can be stored onto the side of the backpack there like so. Up next then, the shield. Now this is also quite long, and you have some options here for this. So at the end you have this like spiked bit, but you can remove that. And if you prefer, you can swap that out here with this kind of cannon barrel and turn the shield into a weapon here as well. Well, I guess it's a weapon either way, but you can have either a physical weapon or a ranged weapon here if you wanted to have that as like a cannon. Personally, I mean, between the two, both are cool options, but I think I like having that as the spike, just so that the shield is serving as like obviously a defensive accessory, and then also it can be an offensive weaponry for close range combat. But then, as you may have seen just a second ago there, the shield does also extend, so at the top and bottom, and then the sides also extend out here like so, exposing some more of that cool clear blue there on the inside in between the extensions of the shield. So again, that closes up there, and then the sides close up together here on the back side. I do really like the look of this. It's just got some nice detail, and then I like how this one is going to attach into the hand and then also into the back of the forearm as well. So just like with the beam rifle, this will actually be attached to the full forearm, so that should work really well for support. And then here's where our beam saber handle is stored, so that's just going to flip up, and then you can imagine it's just being pulled out from there like that. And then we've got our beam saber effect part that will go into there like so. So this clear blue looks really nice for that. Now you do have a second beam saber handle, but you only have one effect part, so you can ultimately only ever use one of these at a time. Would have been nice to have a second one, a spare one. Even though there's only one handle mounted on the kit, it would have been cool to be able to have two beam sabers going at the same time, I suppose, but then this whole thing will also rotate on here as well. The shield will rotate there like that. So that's pretty much it for the accessories, but a really nice loadout, I would say. But now as to the size of the kit, as I said, it's quite large. So here you can see compared to my VFin-less RX-782 master grade kit, and so it's going to be quite a bit taller there. Definitely going to be larger than a standard 1/100 scale Gundam kit. Not quite PG size, 160 scale, probably something in between. If you were going to compare this to like a Gundam kit, probably would be something close to 180 scale. as further evidenced by the pilot figure inside. So you do have this pilot figure inside there with like a little clear blue part there in the torso of the pilot, which is kind of cool, and you can't really see it down inside there, but there's a clear blue part for like the computer screen that the pilot would be looking at on the inside of there, which is a pretty cool little detail that ultimately is going to be lost when the kit is all put together, but it's pretty cool. But the pilot figure is a little bit larger than 1/100 scale. Like I said, again, pretty close to 180 scale, I guess, maybe something like that. With the kit overall having a head height up to here, about 25 centimeters in height. And there are some more great details here to the kit there. As you can see, the visor in clear blue and this head camera in clear blue do look really cool. Here, if you kind of bend the torso back, you can see there's another little clear blue part there as like a little camera sensor in the torso, kind of in the frame there. That's only going to really be exposed depending on how you have the torso posed. You do have some nice articulation here in the waist section. And then we have some more armor extending gimmicks like here at the front skirt. You can pull the front skirts down like that, exposing a little bit of that inner detail in there. And again, that would look really cool if that was in like a gold or silver or something. Sort of like how here on the side skirts, it's kind of difficult to get in there and pull these out. So it's easier to just take off the side skirt armor there. But as you can see, the side skirt also opens up. And with this part, you do have those gold pieces inside that are going to look really cool, even full detail on the underside of there. But that's open and closed here for the side skirts. And around here at the back, again, we have this really cool gold part there for the vent. The back skirts also open up. These ones will open out to the side, just like that. So a little bit of armor movement there to open those up or have those closed. Back up to the arms here, not really too much in the way of like armor opening gimmicks or anything, but you will have this part here on the side that moves. Otherwise, the arm is gonna work pretty regularly. You have a nice double joint in the elbow. It's gonna give you a pretty full bend there. This purple part here at the front also can move individually, so you have like an added point of articulation at the base of the wrist, and then the wrist itself is on a ball joint right there. Next up, to show you the knee bend and the leg articulation, you need to move the front skirt up a little bit, but the front skirt actually doesn't move up all that much because the ball joint that it's on doesn't move, but this whole part actually moves out to the side. So the front skirt and the side skirt are connected onto one piece. You can kind of shift that off to the side to get that out of the way, and then the leg can come all the way up to the front here like this. The knee bend will slide the thigh armor there on the top, and then the knee armor here will separate for a nice full bend there at the knee with some really great armor separation there. Just all this detail looks really, really cool. Bend that back to its full extension there, go around to the back. You can see really nice detail there as well. Up underneath the feet, full detail here also. And then here for the backpack, you might think that this will like open up like it's missiles in there or something like that. It really looks like it should open up and be like a missile pod, but it doesn't. It's just kind of this booster. It does have this part that extends slightly there at the top. That top part extends out. That's really going to be kind of about it. It does look nice with these kind of gunmetal parts in there on the backpack, but otherwise it doesn't really do a whole lot. You can just adjust the angle of those parts, and that's really just going to be kind of about it with those. And so that's about it as we take a look at the kit now here in a few different poses. I mean, it's sort of simple in that we have that nice display base for it, and then for the accessories, it's basically just like a shield, a beam rifle, beam saber, pretty standard loadout, and then it doesn't have like a fancy backpack or any extra like major gimmicks or anything really, but I just really, really like that about it because, you know, sometimes it's nice to have something that, you know, maybe doesn't go overboard with the gimmicks and accessories and everything. I think this is just a really solid kit with a really solid loadout of accessories and gimmicks and everything built into it. It looks awesome. I really like the design of this one, and this is something that I mentioned a few times during the live build if you guys saw it, but the kit really reminds me a lot of the Estelev kit, and I've built a couple different versions of the Estelev, not only because of the size is very similar with the Estelev also being a little bit larger, but just like the weapons, accessories, and just kind of, there's a lot of engineering of the kit that just really reminds me a lot of the Estelev. So actually, when I first saw this kit, when it first came up for pre-order and I first saw it, I did think that it was another kit from Orange Cat Industries, and I was actually kind of surprised to see that it wasn't, but I do kind of get the sense that maybe there is some kind of connection there just in terms of the production of this. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, fantastic kit. If you guys have not checked out any versions of the Estelev, it's another kit that I would highly recommend for you guys, but this one also really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting the chance to paint up this kit. I would really like that. Like I said, there's a lot of great details on there, and I do like the colors that it comes in, but I would love to try my hand at like a different kind of custom color scheme seam on this, I think that would be a lot of fun. I think overall it's just going to look really nice. You have hardly anything really in the way of seam lines on this too, so you really don't need to worry about doing a ton of prep work. It would be a relatively simple kit to paint up if you're wanting to paint it. So that's definitely something that I would be looking forward to. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about this one? Are you as impressed with it as I am? Is this something that you're already planning on getting, or have you changed your mind after seeing the review one way or the other? Let me know down in the comments. Of course, if you do want to pre-order the kit, if you haven't yet, you can do so at usagundamstore.com. The link is down below in the video description as always. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your support, leaving a like if you enjoyed the review, making sure to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and just for checking out the video here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, hope y'all are doing well. I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.